we know how to get to Chachma. Is we go in through Bina and we build Bina and we put together the pieces and we get to Chachma. But how do we get to Keter? So I asked him and he said we go down. And I said, oh, that's a really, really good answer because really like Nachum is the thing that's most shy to Keter. So what did I say? I forgot. Yeah. No. Okay, hold on. 1 second.
I like this night. It smells good. We're gonna.
So how do we get to Keter? We get to Keter because the Omer equals Shai. And if I say Yesh Omer, then I get Keter. So if there's Omer, then I get Keter. So the only way to get down to Keter, the only way to get up to Keter is to drop down into Za and to fix up the middle of Za. So, right, the gematria of Yesh Omer is Keter. Gematria of Keter, because Omer is Shai, the Shai Olamos. So I was talking to my Chabrusa here, and we were saying if we parse out the day as each day is a map of the year, then Lachora, the Omer, is Mincha. Right when we start to try and mitgaber the Chasadim over the Gevurah. Right when Mincha comes in and we try to be mitgaber the 207 Chasadim over the Kag Gevurot. Right?
Wait, so this is big. So is it Mincha Gatan or Gedolah?
It depends on who you ask. According to the Mekubalim, according Lechora, it would be right before Shia, when they daven Mincha. According to Rabbi Yaakov Abu Chatzer, it would be right when Mincha happens, daven Mincha then. That's right then is when we need the koach of the Chasadim.
But if you take the days of the year and divide them into 24 hours, where does it fall? Because that'll tell us what's the answer.
So how do we go down?
How do we go down? Because Lechora we're in Bina. Our whole limud is in Bina.
Yes.
Right? The Gilui begins in Bina. So everything that we're learning, everything that you're giving over to us is in the ofen of Bina. Meaning, even if it's Chachma, even if it's in the Torah Vasilut, it's Prat. And then the Chacham has to take all the Pratim and put them together. So the reason we have to drop down in order to get to Keter is because from Bina we can get to Chachma, but I don't think we can get higher there. We have to actually go down in order to get.
Shalom.
So once we drop into the Omer and we start being mevatel, the behema, the atmo that's inside of myself, then
As to go down is to levatel et habehema.
Then we can achieve Keter, which is Yesh Omer.
Yesh Omer.
There is the Omer in its proper tikkun, in its proper observance.
Le chidouche de Rabbi Yoshiao, il dit quoi? Il dit c'est quoi? Comment on aller jusqu'à la Chokhma, c'est facile. Comment aller jusqu'au Keter? Il ne sait pas. Il demandait à quelqu'un de la Yeshiva. Et il lui a dit, pour aller au Keter, il faut descendre. Donc quand tu descends, comment tu fais pour descendre? C'est quoi le but de descendre? Le but de descendre, en fait, c'est d'annuler le nefesh habehamit, on va dire, la dimension animale que l'on a. Et dans le Yesh Omer, c'est Gematria Keter. We start slowly, but very hard and hot. C'est pas si on commence comme ça, what we're going to see in the 4 hours. It's going to be high. Wow.
Shalom, Rabbi.
Shalom, Rabbi Edouard. Rabbi Carlos.
Shalom.
Give your Dvar Torah. Put your camera and start and we listen.
Dvar Torah?
The youngest speak first. Vas-y, on t'écoute. Freestyle.
Pardon. Quel Dvar Torah freestyle? Sur Rabbi le jour d'Aïlo de Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai.
J'avais dit qu'il fallait commencer à préparer un petit Dvar Torah. T'étais au courant. Freestyle, Rabbi. On écoute. On t'écoute. Tu veux une technique?
Quoi?
Fais comme Rabbi David. Tu dis, bon, je vous bénis tous. Que le Tzaddik vous bénisse. Ça bracha les bonnes. Voilà, faut voir, toi. Ah, vas-y, je t'écoute. Je fais un Torah, on t'écoute.
Pardon?
Fais un Torah en anglais, on prend comme tu veux, je traduis.
Wow,
Ce qui te vient, que tu as étudié il y a 20 minutes. Il y a 4 heures.
Attends, j'entends pas.
Ken,
Ce que j'ai étudié à 20 minutes.
il y a 20 minutes, il y a 4 ans, il y a 2 jours, ce que tu veux. On t'écoute. Hier, Bisrota, il We listen to you.
Okay.
Abedin, be ready. You will have to say some Torah in a few minutes after Rabbi Carlos.
Oh. Ok. Attends.
Vas-y, on t'écoute.
Ah, c'est. Ok. Hmm.
Rabbi Carlos, freestyle.
Freestyle, je cherche.
Arrête de
Go,
chercher,
go.
freestyle, on t'a dit.
10 seconds. 10. 9. Vas-y. C'est bon?
Bon,
Est-ce que c'est bon? T'es prêt?
ouf, j'arrive pas, je vois pas. Attends.
T'es prêt?
Je sais que tu vas pas me laisser le choix de toute façon.
T'as pas le choix. Je tourne la caméra, on t'écoute. Carlos.
Vas-y, Carlos. Courage.
Allez, Dvar Torah.
Mon cousin.
Ok, Torah.
Fais en anglais, je traduis en français pour les Français. Do it in English.
I do it in English.
Do it in English.
Okay. What comes to me? What comes to me like, right now in my mind is like when I think about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, it's like I don't know why. What pops up in my head is like the Nesira and Za and Nukva.
Oh.
The important things is like we live now in.
Attends, wait.
Non, parle.
We live now in the state like in the Klal Israel. We can see that Ephraim and Ephraim and Yosef and Yehuda are in a fight, and we can take it like can take a look at it, and we see it on in Pesach when the Bnei Israel are in front of the Yam Suf, and exactly at this moment we can see that Zah was sleeping, and I think like we kind of in a way coming in the state that Zah is sleeping. And that's why we have the fight, and I have the hope also with the Hilula of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai that the Nesira will come soon, and Zah and Nukva will be face to face, which is we can see like Kadosh Baruch Hu and Israel being face to face, and then like the Geula will come, and we will see Mashiach very soon.
Amen.
I have a question.
Amen.
You said Vav. So who is the Vav, who is the Hey in your story? Rabbi Shimon is what? And who is the Hey?
If Rabbi Shimon is the Vav,
I don't know. I say you said Nesira. So who played with?
Right. I would say Rabbi Shimon is the Vav, and we are the Hey, receiving from him.
Hey. So what's happened when the Nesira is finished? When will it finish? It's on Lag Baomer. It starts, or the Nesira will be starting, finishing tonight. What do you say? It's family. That's why
Tonight, I would say.
What do you say?
That the Nesira is tonight.
All the Nesira, meaning that we start to separate and Nukba will be face to face with that tonight.
A Shavuot.
Shavuot or tonight?
I don't know. No. Tonight is face to face. The union is Shavuot.
Oh.
This is just a small talk.
כל הכבוד. אשריך. רבי דין, you have some words? Is here?
חזק וברוך.
חזק וברוך.
תודה רבה.
חזק וברוך. T'as passé le test, petit Congolais.
We
C'est
wait
bien.
for you to come to.
Quel gros test comme ça. Maltraitance à enfants.
Ah ouais?
C'est bien. Ça va être ça.
Where's you gonna stay?
We have places.
I have an extra room. This place. Yes, place. Don't worry.
Rabbi Din, you are here? No, Rabbi Iri, Dvar Torah. What's your camera?
Wait. No.
Rabbi Iri is in the program also.
Ah, ok. En anglais ou en français?
Anglais, je traduis pour Rabbi David.
Aïe. Non, mais par contre, je n'ai pas de... Ouais, bon.
Tu viens le faire, hein?
I can't. It's my first Hilula. Comment?
You don't have choice. You don't have,
Okay.
don't have choice. So you have to do.
No, man.
You have the skills. Just need to give it to bring it out.
If you don't want to do it in English, you can do it in Hebrew.
En français alors. on peut en français alors du coup?
Dis en français, je traduis.
Ok. Comment dire? C'est la première fois en fait que je fête, enfin, que je vis la Hilula. En tout cas, je fête la Hilula de Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai.
It's the first time that I really lived in Hilula.
En fait, ce que je peux dire, c'est que j'ai hâte de le vivre vraiment en Eretz Israël. J'ai pas vraiment de ridouche pour le moment, parce que je suis encore au tout début de Bezat Hashem, d'une vie juive digne de ce nom. Voilà. Et je ne fais...
in Israel. I don't have Kiddush because I'm just at the very, very beginning of Jewish life. Oui.
Mais comment dire? Oui, je ne fais que recevoir pour le moment, mais Bezat Hashem, bientôt je pourrai aussi Bezat Hashem partager avec vous des connaissances.
Yeah, now I'm just Mekabel, just receive, but I hope sooner I will be able to share with you. Kol hakavod.
Amen.
Kol hakavod. So, bravo. Rabbi David, t'as un Dvar Torah?
Passe mon tour. Non, pas maintenant. Mais...
After. Rabbi Zohar, you have a Dvar
Hey,
Torah?
en portugais. Je t'en ai après.
T'as un Dvar Torah, Rabbi Zohar? Very brief. Attends, oui, vas-y.
I once read that Torah is a brief on the Torah. It's like everything in the parasha of last year, not last week, Hashem will tell you, do not do this, do not do that, Ani Hashem. Do not do this, do not do that, Ani Hashem. And from what you can understand that a person can intellectualize anything in his mind. So you know what? I know it said don't do this, but what if I make a way around it like that, clever himself up to get around that mitzvah? And I feel like this is why Hashem just put a clause in, be nice to say, Ani Hashem. You know what I mean? Ani Hashem. That's me. If I say don't do that, don't go around it. Ani Hashem. And that's the clause. And when I look at it this way, they also said that, for example, Torah is also like, if you want to succeed in life, here, do these things, your life will be okay. Like, okay, but if you read it the wrong way, especially if you read it with translation, one might think that it's like a din, like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. It's like a policeman trying to do it, say, no. It's Hashem doing a kindness to you. It's not just some policeman trying to do this or that or that. No. It's like, I'm looking out for you as a parent to a child. In order to succeed, like, don't worry about this. You do this perfectly, you do this, your life will be okay. I'm doing it out of love for you to prevent you from going to a very bad side.
Lotus is.
Yeah. And another thing I wanted to say too, when you narrow it down, it's like, what is the one mitzvah? Like that really bakla all mitzvah.
Mm.
And I feel like if you keep it well, you study it well, and you keep it to the max, it's like a guarantee. Shefa.
Shefa.
Which is, of course, what we all want.
No, Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
Shabbat. It's like there's the whole Torah. You do this, you do that, but I feel like there's one mitzvah, if you really mark it upon it, it's just gonna automatically help you with all the other mitzvot. Mitaking yourself.
But wait, Zohar,
Shabbat.
just because you say something, that doesn't have any validity. We don't work that way in Judaism. Is there any source that says that Shabbat is equal to all the mitzvot together?
Oh, I have a raya.
Oh, wait, Chazal.
Wait, hold on, I have a raya. I have a raya for your statements. That Balatanya says, right, that the Goyim, they only have a nefesh Bahamas. And the Yehudim, they have a nefesh Elokut. What's the nefesh Elokut? It's the nefesh Yitzera that only comes, why?
Shabbat.
And when does it come? It comes on Wednesday, and it leaves by Yom Shlishi. So if a person's celebrating Shabbat, he always has this nefesh Elokus. And if he doesn't,
He
he
never
doesn't have a
has it.
Bahama, he's like a Goy. That's it, boom, that's it,
That's the
done.
thing.
That's
I
what
feel like that's that one mitzvah. Seriously, you study it well. That's why, like, I advise everyone to really return to Drush Halayla, Drush Shabbat, and stuff like that, and really learn it from the tzí, literally from the tzí. I personally can testify to that experience. Study it well to the tzí, you'll be all right.
Man.
Amen.
So may we all keep Shabbat to the maximum.
Amen.
Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon.
Give me some. All right.
Shefa.
Amen. Rabbi Ephraim.
I have something to say based off of what my Hilula said
Yes. Oh.
about saying that the way to reach Kesser is that you have to make the descent in order to make the ascent back into Kesser. So when we talk about, you were giving shiurim in the last few weeks, and one of the topics that was coming up was Matat, and in that Sefer Kekala, the general topic that we call that Sefer is talking about the Ma'aser Merkava. It's all about the Seder of the angels and the Seder of everything. And when we talk about the way that our sages went to access the Merkava, we say that it was a descent into the Merkava. So the connection between Lag BaOmer is that Rabbi Shimon is sort of the descent into the Merkava, because he said that Rabbi Shimon is Shimon buried in Meron, is the Mem and the Ron of Matat, who is the Merkava. So Rabbi Shimon descending. I don't have it floating right now. I had the pieces. I don't have all the words. But
Ramon is Hod.
Yeah.
Is Hod Shabbat.
Ramon is Hod Shabbat. Ramon is the Resh and the Mem Vav Nun of Matat, which Matat is Merkava. We say that we descend into the Merkava, and we're saying, how do we get really from Chachma into Kesser? We say the Sod is to descend. The Sod is the descent to the Merkava. So what does that mean that Rabbi Shimon is teaching us? He's teaching us that the way to get from when we're in Chachma, which is when we can have the vision of the Elokus in the world, but how do we reach the actual point of Kesser is actually to have the descent. And what does the descent mean? The descent means to be Merkabel Hayasurim Ba'ava, to actually be able to experience whatever challenges that we have it's really just the Amuna Pshuta, just the simple Amuna that Hashem, I don't understand why I have to go through this, but I know it's from your chesed, and I know that it's taking me higher. That's the descent into the Merkava that we can eventually ascend into the light of Kesser for that. And that's what the RaShBi is revealing to us through the Zohar, through all the pratim that he and the Yehudim that he reveals to us, is really to reveal the light that every hastara, every experience of concealment of Hashem's light that we have is actually to bring us ever closer to him. And that's really the Kesser, because the Kesser is what's revealed in every single level and every single place.
Very good freestyle. Go ahead. כל הכבוד. כל הכבוד. רבי יעקב.
Are you freestyling?
The best freestyle are always prepared.
Yeah, off the top of my
I didn't
head.
have anything prepared.
And the best scripts are always freestyle.
Yes.
No, something being in the wonderful, being in the walls of Beitel, just wonderful. Some questions. I only have questions. Well, some questions came up. Just one, I've been trying to get to. My main questions are, where do I ask a question on this question? And one has been on Dea Bina scale, because we have, for me, just kind of automatically, but I think there's also something behind it. Every pair of 3 in Shimon Esrei is Davos to me. Dea, Yaakov, Bina, Yitzchak, so before coming down. How is Abraham's scale? And so I saw, where was my raya for the next, not even a raya, just the next step for the question in Shimon Esrei. V'tein schar tov v'chol botchim. We said that Abraham was the epitome of bitachon. So when he came out of the tanur, he was the mochen able to receive Tzelem Elokim. Where he was getting or Ke'in Sof instead of the or Kashedim, or Kastim. And there's also, I wish I had the raya on this, but so the Lamed Reish switch, which I swear I saw in a Rashi, I don't know where it actually comes from, that you could switch the Lamed and Reish and actually retain the meaning of the word.
We can go to Safari and the association with it.
Okay. It's your desk.
I didn't say I could, I said we could.
We'll do. But that seichel and skar are basically the same word. So after going through a little bit of that, the next question is, why did not Ibn Avihu drinking seichar? Turn them off. You'd think that having seichel would be the best thing. Questions.
Very deep. We have time. We have all the night. You will have time to speak again. Just want to get the introduction, to feel the temperature of each one of you. Av Cohen.
I noticed 2 nights ago that every night we count the Yonah, every week is connected to a different king, every day is connected to a different aspect of every king, which are the other kings. What if we thought of those aspects as counts? The compte. So tonight we counted Samna the Samna. What if his count Samla de Samla, and somewhere his county, his comté, is out there. There's a geographic region, and there's a whole mental headspace, there's a whole spiritual space that he is the count of.
Is this like, it's not translating to English, but count is like in European.
No,
like,
it's in English and in French. That's why I did it. I'm the count of Worcestershire or whatever.
It's a royal title.
I'm the count. He's, you got the king, you got the baron, you got the count.
Okay.
What if he's like, I'm Count Samla de Samla? And that's like kind of cute and kind of interesting. And then I realized we always refer to Hashem as Melech HaMelachim. We're not talking about King Louis XIV. We're not talking about Queen Elizabeth. We're talking about the 7 kings. He's the king of the 7 kings.
Wow.
So sometimes a small funny chidush can lead you to a real chidush.
This is a real chidush. Oh,
He's the king of kings.
yes.
Oui.
Dis-le en français, t'as en français.
On va sauter l'introduction qui n'était pas si importante que ça. On dit toujours Hashem, Melach Melachim. Le roi des rois. C'est pas Louis XIV quand même, on s'en fout. C'est les 7 rois. Il est le roi des 7 rois.
Then the whole shot that before a king ruled in Israel is even more important because Hashem
Right, like
is the king that
some-
rules in Israel. So
Exactly.
he let these 7 kings rule before him.
Allez dire.
After having created them.
Right?
Yeah. Like you give your kid a playroom. You figure it out.
Et c'est vrai qu'on dit quand même roi des rois de tous les rois.
Roi. Voilà, Melachim.
Ils sont 8, c'est pas ça.
Hey, Benjamin, you have some words for us all over the world and us in the room.
Ouais, tout à fait.
Before you
Je vais te dire les fiches simples et après le.
before you came, based in the agreement that you had today, I heard in the other room in the morning. I have been thinking about it. I thought, I'm tired, I'm going. I asked Ralph the question. If you couldn't do something for these 4 questions, words that you utilize in the morning concern speaking, in the effect of the speaking, when we speak, we always use 4 words that I don't remember. Can you repeat them for me?
Mine.
My words.
You said amazing things. They were great.
Yes, but
They were amazing. That's enough to know. They were amazing.
so we was. I think that I was reasoning about the use of the words, and you told me or us the effect of these 4 words. One is what?
One is, I think, being mute.
Mute. This verb for me, for my understanding, is profound for us in different stages of life. The second one is
Silence.
silence. When you learn to be silent and the meaning of the silence. And the third one was
Let me check it in Hebrew. In English, I will say it. It's lame.
lay.
L-A-M-E.
Boiteux. And you have a fourth one, which was
Blind.
blind. Nobody here talk. Oh, those 4 words that you have. There is a profound meaning way of using what is happiness. Oh, there's an effect that you use when we are gathering. We say so many things. And if you go looking deep, there's so meaningless, without many and without basis, to put forward the structure that we learned, and in the practical of the moment you use. So I wonder what we are doing. I thought, you are old. This is the powder of the youth. They are young. They don't know better. I'm sorry.
We don't.
But I think we need to work on it. If I'm pretentious, I'm pretentious. But because I need to also work on it. Thank you.
Voilà, Kavod. Voilà, Kavod. Voilà, Rabba Tzadikim. You introduced in the very best way the situation.
This was the best thing that anyone said, what he said. You understand what he said? It was the best thing that anyone said. What does really shtika mean?
I mean, Toda Rabba. You know, at Chatzot, we're going to light a candle. I'll try to take a plate, put the oil, and we'll light like for Rabbi Bitan.
RaShBi.
No, like we did for Rabbi
Oh, like we did. Okay.
Yeah. Donc, quand il sera minuit 40 comme ça, on va allumer la bougie pour Rabbi Shimon de la même manière qu'on l'a fait pour Rabbi Hilula. Chacun va allumer une bougie. So it's always odd, you know, when it's a Hilula for Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Israel. It's always odd.
Shalom, shalom, Rabbi. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Welcome. Yom Hilula Shomer. So it's odd to know what should be the main topic of the limud. C'est toujours dur de savoir ce que tu dois enseigner quand c'est une Hilula aussi importante que celle-là. Because it's the Hilula, it's also the first Mishmar. On this Mishmar are standing or not the others. So you have to know how to build the dynamic. Donc tu dis, il y a une petite pression parce que c'est la Hilula. C'est la première nuit d'études qu'on va faire, donc tu sais que ça va donner soit la force ou la difficulté aux autres de faire la suite. So you have many topics, and you think, tu penses, you think, you try to find something build, and you build. And suddenly, in the middle of the afternoon, you see your master of Bethel coming. He says, please, we need you to complete the minyan. Donc tu prépares ce que tu vas dire, le Torah, et d'un coup, au plein milieu de l'après-midi, tu vois ton maître de Bethel venir dire voilà compléter le minyan. Almost 2 years that I left, I never went back to that place since then. Parce que 2 ans que j'ai quitté, et j'ai pas mis les pieds là-bas depuis 2 ans. And when this happened, Hilula Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So when I was there, I was asking, what happened? I saw kind of, shalom. J'ai vu des petits signes de shalom. When they came, they took the chair for the ceremony they had there. Okay, I saw some rabbanim coming more often. I understand that something has happened. For me, it was like, okay, we are in shalom.
Rabbi Benjamin became the Levi. I became the Cohen.
Yes. I said, it's strange. I said, what's happened? J'ai dit que c'est bizarre. Pourquoi? Je comprenais qu'il y avait un peu de réchauffement. Tu voyais, il venait un peu plus des rabbins de Bethel, dire des brachot. Ils ont pris un peu nos chaises. But I was not able to imagine that I left that place with my 2 legs and my stuff. I came back with family with me there, completing the minyan. I said, wow.
C'est comme Jacob, il a
Yeah.
Jacob, il a laissé, il a couru vers de son frère.
Oui.
Il est revenu avec une tribe et tout ça.
You didn't leave Bethel, you took
Parce que
Bethel.
nous, ici, on est 10. Et, non, on est beaucoup plus.
That's in Bethel.
On est plus que 12 et tout ça. Pas 3, pas 5.
Non, je suis d'accord avec toi, mais beaucoup.
On est, comme disait, nous sommes nombreux.
Ça veut dire quoi ça? Je suis parti avec 2 pieds, rien. With tears in my eyes. I said, what's happened?
Your tail between your legs.
Yeah. La queue entre les jambes.
Ouais.
With tears. I said, okay. Divorce. And 2 years. I'm living 5 minutes from that place. 2 years, 2 ans. What's happened? We never know what's happened, what he's doing. What I understood, ce que j'ai compris quand j'étais là-bas, when I was there, is that there is a deep, deep, deep connection between us and them. And like he said, there's a full part of Bethel here.
Ça, c'est déjà.
Yes, but you need to see it.
Ça se voit.
No, you need to see it.
Right there.
Yes.
No.
Even this.
Wow, that was 2 weeks before.
Yes. Why you give me the shares? Why do you say no? We are changing all the Sifriya. Get this one. How many yeshiva you have in the over? And even ils m'ont dit, tiens, on change, ça avait commencé à RaShBi il y a 2 mois, il y a 2 semaines. Ils ont dit, on change de meuble, on prend la bibliothèque là, ça vient de Bethel. There's so many yeshivot. Give to someone. They said, no. You know, the landlord of this room said, no. You know what? I put it in the mirpeset for you. I said, if I have students, maybe I will go, but I don't put my feet there. And they said, no, you know what? I work in the morning, but okay. He brought it with Akiva and another guy. At the end of the day, I even not take the phone when he was calling me. He brought it, put it here. Give it here. And when we put it here, Rabbi Yehoshua Cohen, we said, it's the place.
And the whole room, the feeling of the whole room
change. Et quand il a apporté le meuble, alors que j'ai tout fait, j'ai traîné 10 pieds pour le prendre, c'est rentré, on a dit, c'est bizarre, ça a changé l'atmosphère de la pièce. Après, ils ont pris les chaises. But like say Rabbi Yehoshua, you have a full part of Bethel being here. And what he did, because when he came to ask me, he said, we need minyan. I know that it's like Baomer. The Rosh Hashiva went to Meron. Rabbi Moshe Cordova. Il est.
What nation is like that?
Honestly, it's us and Ishmael. They got it from us.
Anything Ishmael they have is from us.
Yeah, of course.
But in its unadulterated, undiluted form, this is it right here. That's it.
What? Print your paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we're big out, baby. Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't print paper.
Better. It was paper upon which had been printed in Mishnah.
What is it? Hey, Brian, what is it? Because this is clearly being.
Mishnayos
Those are
and-
Mishnayos.
And this is Dasha Tavuna.
Do you need a knife, young man? Do you need a knife?
Wait a second, this is the guy? This is the guy?
Do you need a knife, young man?
No, hold on. I just need my wallet.
What?
Wait, you have a pocket knife.
Sets? Yeah. Oh,
Yes. Apparemment.
The sets.
He's we're gonna pay after.
I have it now, just take it.
Okay,
After.
It's on the box.
Whoa, look at the box. You tell me how, look at that box. Just that cardboard is holy.
That's the value in there?
And it shows up now.
Look at the cardboard.
I don't know. I
You
read.
cannot take it without vowels, but you can read that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hodu Hashem Kitov.
All right. Yes, sir.
Ouais.
Ce couteau, c'est Khalali, c'est pas toi.
Pass it to Yeshua.
That's what those kind of book.
Ah,
No, that's the
okay,
kind of like those kind of book we
you put it on
study.
the table.
Oh, the one that I asked about,
I don't know. I wasn't there for that conversation.
you remember?
No. I
We
wasn't.
are going to be tzaddikim. Yes, sir. we do.
Oh, this is for Shimon.
Oh, each one is one set? This is. Okay, guys, don't use the knife.
They mocked the public bath.
All right. It's pretty much amazing right now.
So we receive just books. Bezrat Hashem.
Ah, il faut qu'on envoie aussi à Rabbi Yehuda aussi les autres photos là-bas.
Huh?
What is it you are waiting for?
This is all the books that are still inside, you know, the Kitveari. The red one. You see all the red. This is an amazing gift on the day, gift of acquisition on the day of the Hilula.
In the middle of your little bit now, we're connected to Bela.
What?
Exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. Bezrat Hashem. Let's continue. Hashem is doing things. What we don't know. King of Kings.
That actually came to me while I was sitting thinking what to say.
Wow. Wow. So I was saying, so it was pretty amazing for me because you know me, probably I will say, yes, I'm sending you people. But what they asked me is, yes, send me people, but you have to come also.
Oh.
I said, let's go.
And they had enough people. We had a minyan without you.
Yeah. I said, oh, Hashem. The Hilula will be always in my memory. So, cette Hilula, elle est particulière parce qu'avec tout ce qui se passe, les petits détails, c'est trop pour être insignifiant. But like Rabbi Yaakov, I had questions. I still have questions, but I want to share them with you according to what we saw. I received many messages, when we share, we have limud exchange with each of you and other people, On reçoit plusieurs messages qu'on fait des limudim, des cours. And I had one question, not from one of you, but one from one of the Africans who is in the group we study. J'ai une question dans les Africains, dans les groupes où on étudie. And he reminded me something. He said, let's talk about appropriation. C'est
De quoi? De quoi?
culturel.
Appropriation.
Appropriation. Viens par l'appropriation. I say yes. C'est here in our country, many people say that, you know, Moshe was black, the Torah was for Africans, and so on and so on. So he said, I have no idea. I just want you to give me an answered bill. Tu sais, moi j'ai pas d'idée, je sais pas. Il y a des gens qui disent oui, la Torah c'était les Africains, Moshe il était noir, il a pris les noirs et tout et tout. C'est de l'appropriation culturelle et tout et tout et tout. Moi j'ai pas de réponse, mais donne-moi une réponse parce que les gens me demandent des questions comme ça ici. So when you receive a question, you start to build the question to understand the problematic. Au début, quand tu as la question, on commence à construire la question. C'est quoi l'appropriation? For all the Africans who are in that position, pour tous les Africains qui sont dans cette position, appropriation means you took something from my culture, from my religion, from my society, you make it yours, you hide the roots of that things, and you get profit and benefit on it without telling your source. C'est quoi l'appropriation? C'est tu t'es approprié ma culture, quelque chose qui est à moi, tu dis pas d'où tu l'as prise, tu changes certains aspects, tu la pratiques, tu te fais de l'intérêt sur mon dos sans dire d'où ça vient. This is appropriation.
And that's the central axis of African history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when he said that, I said, okay. I start to make up my mind. I said, okay, let's be real. Is there any connection between our Torah and Africa? Yes, we do have connections. But is there connection till we can say that we get it, we appropriate it? Est-ce qu'on a une connexion avec l'Afrique? Oui, on sort d'Afrique, de Torah, mais est-ce qu'on peut aller jusqu'à l'appropriation? Because if it's that case, we are robbers, stealers. Si c'est ce cas, on est des voleurs.
C'est la thèse centrale des Black Israelites.
Yeah. If that case, you have a big problem. Because they tell you, you know about the mathematics. How do you say in English? Pythagore, Thales?
Yeah, Pythagoras.
Where they were taught in the empire of Kemet.
Yeah.
They received in the empire of Kemet. Ils ont été enseignés où dans l'empire de Kemet? Par qui? By Imhotep. By one man called Imhotep. Was a big sage. That man called Imhotep gave to them all the knowledge about mathematics. And when you go in Greece and you see the story about Pythagoras and Thales, they say, we went to Egypt and we learned from that man. But what did the Greek? Erase. Donc il dit, le théorème de Thalès et Pythagore, c'est pas les Grecs qui l'ont inventé, c'est les Égyptiens. C'est les Noirs de l'empire de Kemet, Imhotep, qui leur a appris. Thalès et Pythagore n'ont pas caché, ils ont dit dans leur livre, oui, on est parti en Afrique, 20 years, 20 ans, to study, to learn. Ils sont arrivés en Grèce, ils ont dit, on a appris deux, voilà. Mais les Grecs ont fait quoi? Ils ont effacé cette partie de l'histoire.
The greatness of Greek civilization has discovered.
Exactly. Not only that, if you study the culture of the empire of Kemet, he said that they had many things, even the way to transmit their knowledge. They knew that men are always interested by this. So they were putting many tests on the way to know if they have to give to you that knowledge. Il dit, à l'époque de l'empire de Kemet, ils avaient cette pensée-là qui était de dire, bah, on sait que l'homme il est intéressé par l'argent. Avant de donner notre savoir, on va le tester pour voir s'il est apte à recevoir notre connaissance. But what's happened? They need to dehumaniser.
Dehumanize.
Dehumanize the black people. To say they are like beasts. They don't have souls. So what thing you have to do is to show that they have knowledge. They don't have knowledge. What do? You erased all the knowledge. And many examples, many. I stood in front of one documentary of 1 hour. All the things which have been created by the African empire, which have been took by the civilization and say we don't know where it comes from. I have a problem. Et donc, il y a plein d'exemples comme ça, où ils se sont fait exproprier leurs connaissances. Ça arrive en Europe, c'est en arrivé aux Grecs, aux Romains, et d'un coup, on ne sait plus qui c'est. Even one other example. What's his name? What's the name I told you? Rabbi Carlos, c'est quoi le nom du poète là que je vous ai dit qui a fait les histoires de La Fontaine avant?
Ah, attends, comment il s'appelle?
Imhotep, Itzer.
Non, c'est pas Imhotep. Rabbi, tu te souviens ou pas?
Justement, je suis en train de chercher.
Ça va revenir. There's another man. He was like, he was.
Aesop.
Ah, Aesop.
Aesop.
Oh, Aesop. Yeah, okay.
Aesop.
Yeah.
This man was clever. From Empire of Kemet, black. He was the first man in the empire who create the remez.
The Pirkei Avot of the Greeks.
So instead of say, I have Quen, I don't like your kippah, he say, you know, the black crow don't like the... Il a créé ça, il a créé le parole imagée. Tout ce qu'il a fait de La Fontaine, il les a volés. Le corbeau et le renard, c'est lui qui avait fait. Il a fait le corbeau et l'avion. Tout a été pris, on a changé les trucs et on n'a pas dit de ça venait. C'était quoi son histoire? C'est un noir d'Égypte. Tellement intelligent qu'il il a voyagé à travers le monde. Il a dit, je vais apprendre les autres cultures. Et il s'est fait capturer, devenu esclave. Il arrive jusqu'en Grèce en étant esclave. Et là-bas, il me voit qu'il est intelligent. On le fait citoyen. Et quand il devient citoyen, on dit il est grec. Qu'est-ce qu'ils font? Tout le monde dit maintenant que Aesop, il est grec. What's happened with Aesop? He was so clever, say, I will make the world power. I want to discover the other civilization. He went to Asia and so on. He arrived in Greece. They saw black people. What's happened? Jail, slave. They said the guy is clever. And they bring it out, they give to him freedom. And they say, now Aesop is a Greek. But Aesop is have been naturalized Greek, based from Kemet.
When I was a kid, we learned he was a black Greek. Yeah. And I was like, what does that mean?
See, many things like that. Beaucoup de choses comme ça. Alors, la question est, about our Torah? I have problems. It starts to be hot now.
There's no problem.
I listen to you.
The Torah was given at the same time to two peoples.
We have problem. Why? On a un problème. Pourquoi? Parce que if it's true, we have to quote that we took this from some people.
No, the Torah was given at the same time to two peoples.
Which people?
Bnei Israel and what's called Am Shelah.
Well, they are called one people.
Yes, but one people made up of two, just like we had one kingdom made up of two kingdoms.
So the problem is still there. Why we don't quote it if it's still like you say? Pourquoi on le dit pas?
Because all Israel was one when they gave us the Torah. It didn't matter who was
No,
who.
why now? We, in our generation, the last generation, we don't say that. No, it's true. That things, we learn it from Moshe talking with Paro in Egypt, because Paro was so clever, he knew about that sleeping. Why we don't say that? Except Arya Kadosh, who say that. Why we don't say that, yeah, we can admit that maybe we took something from the culture we get. If you see that all the black Israelis, they said, we get all the knowledge from African.
But it's also not true.
So, true, not true. We have to build it. C'est quoi alors? C'est notre Torah, c'est une Torah volée?
Intéressant aussi ce qu'il a dit. Après, j'ai une petite idée qui rejoindrait l'idée de avant. C'est passé avant. Quand tu dis que Paro, on a étudié ensemble. Lisa Moshe Rabbeinu, je crois que tu connais très bien qu'en ce moment, Zaïdor. Tu me parles.
17.
And then the second time.
Donc ça rejoint l'idée de. Et puis non, la Torah Aleph. Déjà, non? Si, c'est ça.
Ça
Parce
va,
que je commence à avoir peur. Après, quand il a dit ça, j'ai fait, mais oui, ça.
on va y arriver. On va construire ça comme il faut.
C'est ça?
C'est ça. On va le construire comme il faut. Shalom Bracha. Amen, amen, amen. Quel name?
Now in modern times, the Caribbean guy, the Jamaican runner, they start to say that his mother or grandmother was white by DNA, saying that the quality of the runner was based
On the white side.
now. And then
It's
the
a-
journalists say,
It's a big problem. What we are quoting now, I'm telling you, this is the key of the Geula. Let's just, we are open, after we're going to question the question of Torah.
Meaning it's the whole issue is to decide who is the source. That's it.
Thank you. And what is there, are they wrong? Is it true? If yes, how? And what's happened? I think we have directions.
It depends on how we frame it, doesn't it? It's like, is it protection? Are we guardians? Are we protecting something that we protected it out of Egypt?
Mhm.
We protected it to the Midbar. We protected it by watering it down for all these years. Protecting it, but if it's about possession, that's different because we want, doesn't that change the whole, about whether it's appropriation, it's like, it's ours, not yours, or it's ours without recognizing someone else's participation. But if it just depends on where you are on the time scale, we can already be past all that. We can already be in the post-Gula aspect of it, can't we? We can like get past that by now. Just not to, I mean, to acknowledge that all of this is all some prehistorical wisdom, mysticism, all of it is shared out of time. It's fun. And that's just
the majority of us know the story of Nigeria and the British Museum.
The dead bodies they took?
No.
Then I don't know.
The old sculptures that the Nigeria's constructed is when you're African in the African Museum, in the British Museum. Where they come from Nigeria.
That was the first exhibit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still there, and they refuse to give back. Say, why do we do it?
Right. Oh, we're guarding it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nigeria is not capable of building a
Right,
museum
right. Yeah.
proper to hold.
We are guarding of your civilization.
Yeah.
So you're not able to keep what you own construction.
But Baruch Hashem, they say it to the Greeks too.
That's true.
So how do we say that? How do we say it to the world that we're actually have them believe that we're sincere? We're so sincere.
It's not the question sincere, except the money and the lies. Well, nowadays we have fake news. Fake news is a long, long story. Everything that is in the European Museum belongs to who?
Oh yeah, world history. Western history is fake news. Don't worry. We've been doing this for 2,000 years.
As every place up.
So what's the answer? Do you understand the question? Because it's big.
It's a very modern political issue, no?
No.
I don't know anything.
No, not the appropriation, but I mean because at a certain point, a kind of inherent universality.
No, because Rabbi Rashbi give the answer. We're gonna find it.
I would say.
You about the question.
What do you mean? Maybe I'm not hearing the question.
What did you understand? What's your question? In your what
It was how to navigate what's the landmine or the
cultural appropriation.
Right, the minefield that we're in is Sorry, can we have the? The question is of how to address if we can acknowledge there are certain roots and certain connection to Eretzcha in Torah, and that those connections are real. How do we not just say that it's another story of Westerners taken from Africa, or taking more wisdom from Africa and lying about what the past of it is, so that Judaism is another bootleg of African Judaism or something? That's the general.
So being focused on the Judaism, you understand the question?
You tell me if I understand.
Yeah, the question at least. Why is the big question? Because the appropriation is a reality.
Yeah.
But can we pass it on Judaism?
Can we pass it on Judaism?
Past.
A certain ofen of Judaism, but not all of it. Meaning the Etzem Masorah itself acknowledges that all the wisdom came from Mitsraim. We were birthed out of Mitsraim. So if we don't acknowledge that all this wisdom came from Africa, then we're not acknowledging Ima, which Ima, right, she has the Tumas, Leda, all the things associated with an Ima that's giving birth to a child. But
I agree with you. We have parts, but if we have parts, how do we deal with that part which is maybe connected to that story? And how can we as Jewish accept to be called appropriation?
Well, it's part of what you're doing here, no?
Yes,
you're doing here what this is, no, but to show that there's an actual that it was never a bastardization of an African story. It has to be mislavish and mislavish and mislavish and mislavish to come this far, so that something like this can happen. So you can make a connection finally to Africans, and make a connection to people who are dying for many Gilgulim already, and have the two ends meet, whether it's Los Angeles to Africa on the map geographically, or just through time. And we went, the longest goal list was humans leaving Africa.
Yes.
So, you know.
Can I? I don't want to be aggressive, but every time that, as long as my age, my knowledge go, every time that the Africans, discuss one question, they say, but we were there before. So everything is in the exploitation of gold, metal, and Africa. If it was not we, you couldn't discover. Means we discover, we own this before. Very simple car construction in America. Who did it? It was a black man. That few years ago, Ford or relatives was with him. But who talks that it was a black man that made the first car? You do? No. Why?
I went to White Man University. Thank you. Thank you. I know my white man science.
Oh, I went there too.
Oh yeah, me too.
No,
Thank
a
you.
black man also invented the freeway light and the light in the street light, the traffic light as well. Many things a black man have invented. The light.
So you see the problem now? Let's say I agree with what Benjamin said when it comes about outside of the Kodesh.
Yeah.
It's obvious and it's a shame, but we live with that instead of being trying to find a way to fix it. But now about Torah, how do you react? Let's say 0.1% is right. How can we live with that? We are tzaddikim. We cannot stand next to Sheker. And while I was thinking about this topic, just two days before, the guy come, wrote all the messages, said, yes, Chachmei Mitsraim, Chachmei Yitzchak, who are them? I say, who are them? Maybe ask me, what does it mean? It's the concept? Who are them? Mize. And maybe you should ask to Ari, to Rambam, and to Moshe because they weren't there to meet them. But this don't give me my answer. Do we have something that we have to recognize? Because if we don't recognize, we are responsible of robbery. Because nowhere is written that, yes, we admit that us living 210 years in Egypt, we get some aspect of the culture. We maybe get some aspect of the language, and we send our children in their school, like a Catholic school, where they want there. Why don't we say that? We just say Torat Moshe Sinai. We accept. But when it comes millions of people, not million, few people screaming, yes, this is ours, we took it. Is it right or not? This is what we want to try to answer tonight. It's a major question. So I start to make up my mind. Let's make it together. I said, because I found mon analyse ensemble. I said, first of all, for me, it's not a surprise. Because I know that Matat is the angel of faith. And he has 70 faces. Je sais que Matat, ça ne me surprend pas. Matat, c'est l'ange de toute la création non juive. Il a 70 faces, like 70 nations. And what do we saw with Shimon HaTzadik? What do we saw with all the story of Matat? That you have Shivim Panim LaTorah. We saw that, on a vu que tu as 70 faces of the Torah. Okay, I start to understand. And what said Arakadosh in Shar HaKavanot? You remember when we studied about Pharaoh? Take your Shar HaKavanot. The Shar HaKavanot. I'll send the picture. Just find it. C'est le Drush Aleph. Pessa, Yitzhak Mitsraim, Drush Aleph. He said,
Et Josh Pesa.
Pessa,
Bay.
Drush Aleph, say like this. I don't find the exact place, but we wrote it. I will find it in sooner. They say Mitsraim is the head of the Malchuyot, of the kingdoms. Mitsraim is Rosh HaMalchuyot. So if Mitsraim, I think it's the Drush Aleph, I will find it too. So if Mitsraim is Rosh HaMalchuyot, si Mitsraim c'est la tête des kingdoms. So I have 7 kings. Okay. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's keep the first one out of 10. So each king give 10 Torah. Chaque roi donne 10 Torah. So if Mitsraim is the head of all the kingdoms, it's Bela of Bela. So the Torah of Mitsraim, the Torah of Kemet, the spirituality of Kemet, what they say, it's Bela of Bela. Ari say, Mitsraim, Rosh HaMalchuyot. Meaning that all the kingdoms are behind. So be careful. Faisons attention, la spiritualité de Mitsraim is rooted in Bela of Bela. That's why you always have Bilam being involved there, Moshe being involved there, because they are from the dimension of Bela, the mouth, the darts, the highest.
You said Bela is also boiling?
Bela, libloa, to swallow, bolea.
The swallowing.
So Mitsraim is the Torah of Bela, Bela de Bela. It's powerful. So, okay, so let's say I accept the idea that they had the Torah, Torah for us meaning a real spirituality, without Avodah Zarah, just understanding that God is here underlying, and sometimes they went far. They understood when he was sleeping, not sleeping, they were serving this for purpose. Donc ils avaient leur position, ils savaient que c'était très haut. So now my question, the second question is, it's in Matat. So if it's Bela of Bela, the head of all the Torot we have in the world, Bela of Bela is the crown of Matat. See, the highest level, not the crown, the highest level of Matat in the 70 faces. That's why, what is the name of their God? Mat.
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 Okay.
They pray Mat.
Yes.
Which is Matat.
Yes.
Ah.
Makes sense.
So when they say Acha, Mincha, all of that stuff, that means it's like a short name for an angel or something?
Yeah,
In the Quinpa or?
sometimes, yes. So it's math. C'est pas fini. Donc leur Dieu, c'est relié Bela de Bela. Their Torah is at level. But now my question is, where is our Torah? Le Torah, nous, elle est où? Are we using the Torah of Bela, Bela de Bela, like say Rabbi Yoshiahu? That's happened many times. What is the Torah of Bela de Bela? When you see students fighting each other in the yeshiva.
Bela.
When you see
Don't say
rabbis,
Bela, say Bavli. Say Bavli.
when you see rabbis being beaten by the students.
This stuff is actually true, Rabbi.
When you see rabbis raping women in cemetery.
What?
When you see missionaries saying I'm Cohen and they make books and they live in Jewish garden.
And the morals and the Mitzvah Torah.
When you see people asking you from birth, you are born Jewish, you convert, no, we don't want to marry you. When you see people saying, you know what, leave it. Just, Torah, it's good, but sometimes when you work, you have to work. Business is business. This is the Torah Bela de Bela. I'm going maybe fast. Where's our Torah?
It's supposed to be higher. Because if Matat is the angel of Yetzirah, Moshe Rabbeinu is the angel of Atzilut. So our Torah is supposed to come from Atzilut.
Moshe angel, you say?
Is the not the angel, but is the one who
handled that.
Yeah, in the Atzilut.
Maybe if Bela is connected chesed. And the whole issue is that in these systems of spirituality, we don't have Gedarim. And the whole issue is Gevura.
Déjà réglé le truc. So what's happened? What Torah do we do? Quelle Torah on fait? What Torah do you do, Rabbi Yaakov? Because I'm telling you the truth. If you are doing that Torah, you are a robber because it's not yours. It's there. That's why they say they stole us our knowledge. Yes, they have a Torah. Bela of Bela. The crown of all the kingdoms. They have a Torah. Where do you think they don't have? They have. It's written. We have it in our text.
Mais c'est toi avec ma cloquette.
C'est-à-dire?
C'est toi avec ma cloquette, comme tu as dit, expliqué avant.
What is your Torah? Where's your Torah here?
Dissect-moi.
Hello, Torah, Rabbi Shimon. Where's your Torah here?
It's not supposed to be here.
So where is it?
It's rooted in Atzilut, not in the Yetzirah.
So how do you live it? Comment tu la vis?
I'm learning. I don't know yet exactly, but I know that the Torah of Bela is the Torah of, like you say, the Torah of the Torat of Moshe.
Ah, Toda. Rabbi Shimon had something. Rabbi Shimon said, this Torah, Bela of Bela, has another name. Il dit, cette Torah de Bela, il a un autre nom. He said, it's called Psolet Moshe.
Might have been a big one, huh?
Psolet Moshe.
So if
what is Psolet Moshe?
Over is the second Torah.
Huh?
Leftover?
No, Torah
The
Shnia.
best simple. What is Psolet Moshe?
Torah Shnia.
No.
Ça veut dire quoi, obsolète?
Ça veut dire quoi, obsolète?
Une poubelle.
You're close, but the body's poubelle. La poubelle du cours.
La poubelle de Moshe.
Obsolète, c'est quoi? Les excréments.
Oh, c'est ça, ne mange pas. Bon, chez vous, tu dis pésolé, ne mange pas, c'est une poubelle.
He thought Psolet was garbage. I said, no, it's what you have.
It's a kind of garbage.
Oh, kilo. What's that, man?
Rabbi Ephraim.
I believe it's either in Tehillim or it's in Kohelet, but I'm pretty sure it's in Tehillim. There's a pasuk that says, "Don't be like a parrot that doesn't understand," and parrot means mule.
Yes.
The Hida drushes this pasuk. He says parrot is Peish Resh Dalid, which is Pshat Remed's drush, but no sod. He says, don't be like a parrot, someone that only has the Torah of Pshat Remed drush without the sod, that doesn't understand. What's a parrot? A parrot is a mule. A mule is a hybrid between a donkey and a horse, which is usher for a Jew to make.
Yes.
The only way that we can ever have a mule is when a goy makes it. What? Which means that the Torah of parrot, the Torah of Pshat Remed drush, which is really the Torah of just Matat, because Matat is a Shishe Sidare Mishnah, as in just a pure halakha without sod. That the only way we have that is it would be usher for us to even own it on our own. The only way it's even mutter for us to have it is because it's coming from a goy.
So you see, when they start to scream on internet, they are not wrong. The question is, are you free from that accusation? Ils n'ont pas tant qu'on écrit, oui, vous avez pris le Torah. Mais est-ce que toi, tu es quitte de cette accusation? Every time you are here, Bela of Bela, Torah of Bela de Bela, tu es dans l'obsolète de Moshe et ils peuvent t'accuser. Oui, tu leur as pris une connaissance.
Il a dit, on va prendre le voleur. C'est qui l'a dit?
Rabbi Carlos, tu as de quoi je t'aime?
Oui, par rapport à ce que tu disais. Enfin, moi, je pensais que tout ce que tu disais, la division, ça me faisait penser aux bêtes. Tu aurais du bête et que, en fait.
Bien fait.
La Torah qu'Israël doit pratiquer, qu'on doit pratiquer, c'est celle du Hallel.
So it seems to be, il semble que every time we are not involved in the Torah of Aleph, we are under accusations
of robbery, which makes sense.
Yes.
Makes sense. What do we get? We got Egypt. Of course we robbed it. Where else?
Tout le temps, on est coincé dans la Torah de Bela, qui est la Torah de Mitsraim. On est accusé de vol.
But the Torah of Bela is also the Torah of Reuven.
Reuven?
Yeah.
It's the aspect what Reuven can fix. The Torah of Reuven ben Yaakov, it's
that. Okay. Just wanted to make clear for everyone, just one last thing when I said the Chida, who made the Kiddush about the Peshrei Dalid, he got all of his sod from Beitel.
So you have come. It's very bad possible to those of you already cleaner. You water, I don't care, but put something in it.
Yeah, I think so.
L'Echaim. Donc on a un problème.
Beautiful.
On a un gros problème. Ce problème, c'est qu'aujourd'hui, y a-t-il une partie du peuple qui peut être considérée comme étant, qui s'approprie quelque chose qui n'est pas à lui? Oui. Every time you do Torah of Bet, you're done. So what is Torah of Bet? This is Torah of Aleph. Shar, Ma'amare, Razak. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, moi?
I have to get it. I got it for tonight because I got it for tonight.
This is what's here.
I should never not be able to find your copy, by the way. More copies are nothing all here.
Oh, that.
I don't think she to buy the wrong book.
So always have.
On a carte avec carottes pour faire
Then we
cuire.
go, every time we do the carrot, then we go to the arizal and he give the sod of the pet carrots. So that's what we're going to do. Right? But the pet carrot is good. It's good.
No, too
You should read it.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes, we have because we buy.
T'as pas commandé? Si c'était livré pour aujourd'hui, c'est que c'était livré pour aujourd'hui. Tu fais pas de bête. Pour ne pas dire autre chose.
Donne-moi une seconde comme ça, Lucas.
Le Rav, il te donne une seconde.
Moi, je fais la décision maintenant, tu vois.
Yeah, you represent.
Territory. We're legit representing entire Mesa right now.
Yeah. In Polish history.
À un moment donné, on lance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But robbery we said was the fate of Shaul. Right? No, we're saying in Machina where we have when we're practicing the Torah of Bela.
Et on sait très bien que lui, c'est lui qui a
That's
assisté à les sorties.
the clearest robbery, or it's a
Le moment viendra, tranquille.
Kill is stronger, you said? What did you say?
Pourquoi tu es sûr?
that.
Deux, moi, j'irai genre. Non, il sort maintenant.
That it's just that we're saying that the aspect of robbery is strongest in Bela. So we're saying.
What do a robber? If a robber has a shot, why do you rob this or things who have values?
Right. No, but where does that leave us then with Shaul?
Why Shaul?
Because maybe my notes are wrong. I remember when we were corresponding the 7 laws of Noah to the kings, that Shaul was not necessarily bad. I don't know. Right?
Every,
You know what I'm saying?
what you're saying is every time we study the Torah of Bela, we're messing up Shaul. And
I'm not saying that.
And I'm doing the viewer of Shaul, which is a beautiful huge. Say it.
It's your finish.
If you, no, it's yours.
It's ours.
If you want to say it, say it. Don't be afraid. That's
This
the thing.
is so beautiful, Mamash. I thought I told myself I wouldn't cry.
That's your huge. Own it. It's beautiful.
All in the form of questions. You're my exclamation mark. Right, which is we're talking about that this is all an aspect of Shaul. If his chayt is the robbery, it is Gesel.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a question. It's not a big finish. My question is, where does Shaul fit into this? Because it's clear where Gesel fits into Bela.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering what.
Maybe in the aspect of Shaul, Gesel is you're acting like a robber, but in the aspect of Bela, you're victim of Gesel.
Can I add that the big problem to me is if this was 5% of the Torah we studied, it would be fine. This is 95% of the Torah that everyone studies. So every time we fix the world by studying Torah, we're also unfixing.
Yes. J'aimerais bien au coma.
And surprise, surprise, we don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, if it weren't like this, then it would have happened by now, right?
And everybody
We've been
has.
studying this book for so long.
We have
It
more,
worked.
We have more Neshemot studying Gemara than ever before in history.
Yeah.
But look, we're not there yet. What are we doing wrong?
Not only are we.
What are we doing wrong? Oh, that's what we're doing.
We're reinforcing.
We're not just not there.
No. We're taking 2 steps forward, and we're taking 1 3/4 steps back.
Yes. That's a big problem. Big, huge problem. C'est un gros problème. We're trapped.
We're trapped. We're part of them.
We're trapped. On est coincé. tout le temps, on n'a pas les pieds dans la Torah du Aleph. We do a Torah which is not ours. Moshe has no problem. Esther told him, Pesol lecha, do from your obsolete. Of Moshe, it is back. So we understand the back is you growing up in the Egyptian culture, in the house of Pharaoh. You have a mother-in-law, which is the princess of Pharaoh, living 40 years in Cush, being king there. We understand what is the obsolete. Make something with all the knowledge you see there. Yes, we all do it, no problem. And after people
Because if it's not that, if it's pshat, he didn't eat for 4 days. And I can tell you, you don't eat for a long time, there's no salt.
Nice, nice, nice.
Donc c'est un gros problème. Il y a cette histoire de... On va prendre le
Surprise,
texte.
surprise.
Si on est gravité comme ça, il voit bien le texte. Ve'im. The first picture, c'est écrit comme ça. Ve'zim e nitrat ma she ikshinu betrila. Kikshe Israel amdu al Har Sinai. So when Israel was standing on Har Sinai, construit sur le Har Sinai. Ça c'est Matan Torah, but it's more Asarata Divrot. Anochi, Aleph. C'est les 10 paroles là, sur Har Sinai. Paska Zuamatan. C'est all our impurities was stopped. Toute notre impureté, elle a été arrêtée. Vechazru liyot ke Adam Arishon kodem achet. And we went back, like flashback, but in reality, and we become like Adam Arishon before the sin. Perfect. Just we standing, our feet being standing on our Sinai. Where's the Sinai?
Egypt.
Standing there. And he said that mountain is the smallest of all the mountains, most humbleness.
Wait, who's the humblest of all the peoples on earth?
Huh?
Who's the humblest of all the peoples on earth?
I don't know.
If I had to guess, maybe the Armenians, but probably Benecha. Qui est le plus humble du peuple du monde? S'il faut éliminer, enfin les Arméniens, ils ont quand même de quoi, sur quoi s'appuyer, mais les Benecha.
C'est pas le Minhag. C'est pas le soin. Ce sont les Arabes, des soins.
Qu'est-ce que j'ai dit? Ils ont sur quoi se reposer, mais c'est quand même les Benecha.
Pascal, c'est le gars.
Quoi?
Pascal.
Parce qu'elle s'est arrêtée. Psac. Ça s'est stoppé. Notre impureté, c'est le Har Sinai. So what does it mean, Pascal? The Har Sinai had action on us. So Hashem said, all the humbleness I want to show in my world, I will find it in one mountain in Africa, in Egypt. Okay. And what's happened after? It said like this. If it's on Har Sinai where things stopped, for sure Moshe knew about that mountain. He was here for many years. He had this moment of meditation, going here, there. For sure he knew. It's never like this that you discover, okay, I have to go there. C'est sûr, moi aussi, je savais déjà c'était quoi le Har Sinai, puis avant que ça se passe. It's like you pass on the street, you say, I will get that house.
Amen.
I will live here. I feel. Yeah. C'est comme toi, tu passes dans une rue, tu dis, cette maison, je sais pas, j'y habiterai. Je sens bien, il y a un truc à moi. C'est sûr que Moshe, il avait déjà vu le Har Sinai avant. Ça, je cite. Hilula, RaShBi, je cite. C'est sûr, for sure, Moshe saw the Har Sinai before it became Har Sinai. He knew.
Before you're saying before the burning bush?
Yes.
He took the sheep there many times. He knew.
You know what's happened when you go and they go in the desert and the forest and they meditate. That's kind of tzaddik we have. They do.
No, even a stum connected person knows.
Yes, you see, you feel that something is here. They knew. Il savait.
This is what it was saying. Okay, now it makes sense.
Il savait. C'est ve'im ken, si c'est comme ça, if it's like this, aya noten laem Hashem itbarach Torah shekatuv ba adam ki yamut ba'oel. Oh, you see, I have one question. If we achieve the level of being like Adam Rishon before the sin, si on a atteint le niveau d'être comme Adam Rishon avant la faute, meaning no death, no impurity, c'est-à-dire pas de mort, pas d'impureté, why do we receive a Torah written inside when a man will die? Comment on reçoit une Torah qui parle de mort dedans? C'est pas logique. On a atteint un niveau, la mort n'existe plus. On a mis notre pied sur l'arsenal, il n'y a plus de mort. Pourquoi tu me donnerais une Torah, ça parle de mort dedans?
Qui parle de mort?
La Torah.
Il y a Moshe qui est mort, il y a Myriam qui est mort, il y a...
Tu vois bien qu'il y a marqué quand tu trouveras un homme mort dans une tente, tu te mettras en quarantaine, c'était un Kohen. C'est écrit dans Vaïkra.
S'il n'y aurait jamais eu de mort.
Alors comment tu me parles de mort alors que la Torah, quand tu me la donnes, il n'y a plus de mort?
Ils sont morts avant.
Non, viens, comprends la question, ami David, comprends toi aussi. La Torah, on la reçoit, il n'y a plus de mort. On est comme Adam et Jean avant la faute. Si je te donne quelque chose, c'est en rapport avec ta situation, que tu vas comprendre. Il dit, pourquoi tu me donnes une Torah qui parle de mort? C'est pas logique. Parce qu'elle n'existe pas chez moi.
Qu'est-ce qu'il te dit?
C'est à cause du Retaïg.
Mais le reste, ça vient après.
Oui, mais quand il a donné la Torah à Lévi, il n'y avait pas les histoires de mort.
Non, on est sur le... Quand il dit dans l'Arsinaï là-bas, ils ont reçu déjà une Torah, laquelle on ne sait pas encore. Mais là, il parle pour les gens qui diraient que la Torah dont on parle, là, c'est celle-là qu'on a reçue.
Voilà.
Mais il te dit, c'est pas celle-là, il va te l'expliquer, mais pour ça, il faut qu'il pose la question. Toi, maintenant, tu as quelqu'un qui vient te demander de quoi ta question, tu la poses. Tu dis, c'est simple. Si nous, on était cachers, Tahor, il n'y a pas de mort au Arsinaï, ah oui, c'est possible. Comment c'est possible que dans une Torah, nous, on ne connaît pas le mot mort, parce qu'on est des vivants, on parle d'éternité, on me donne une Torah, il y a la mort dedans. C'est pas possible.
C'est simple. It's a very bizarre ellipsis because we go to Har Sinai, everybody stay away from your wives for 3 days. Everybody do this, everybody do that. What do we get? The 10 Commandments. They're great. I mean, Baruch Hashem, Dayenu. But you do all this just to get the 10 Commandments? No, it's an ellipsis. Everyone knows it's an ellipsis.
No,
what nobody knows is how to fill the ellipsis.
No, you go high. He says something different. He's trying to give you the way to build your arguments. He said, if there is no death, you cannot talk about death.
No, of course not.
The Torah that Adam was dealing with in the Gan Eden before his sins,
it was a completely different Torah.
So now we achieve the same level.
Right.
So how can I get a Torah talking about all the laws of purity? It's not possible.
And that's not the Torah we get.
Exactly.
That's why I'm saying it's an ellipsis. How strange.
Yes, but you have to know how to explain it. Because people will say, yeah, okay, but maybe Hashem, you know, he has everything.
People are busy.
No, he will tell you, he will tell you, he has the future, no, the future, sometime in the present, it makes the future in the past. And you can be trapped. You can say, you can say, no, we know Torah is like this. Sometime you have every situation, every time.
That's why, to me, I talk about ellipsis. It's the ellipsis of what we got that we don't have now. It's Torah.
Yeah.
The 10 Commandments are the same in both. And that's why the 10 Commandments are included there.
Yes, but the problem is if you say it like that, it seems to me that something that was given at the Har Sinai wasn't so perfect. And this go against the Gemara. So the Gemara say on the Har Sinai, what was given was perfect. Donc, ce qui est dans le Har Sinai, c'est parfait. So what the question said, how can you talk about the death? On peut parler de la mort. Qui im kvar pascal zoamat anachash. So how can you talk about death if we achieve a level where the nachash impurity stopped? Comment tu peux faire ça? Parler de la mort alors que la nachash a disparu? Aval haemet, here is the truth. Voici la vérité. She'az natan Hashem itbarach al derer shesam Adam הראשון בגן עדן, לעבדה לשומרה, והיה גוף ופשט התורה יותר רוחני ודאי. Et c'est non. What is the Torah that we see on Har Sinai? C'est quoi la Torah qu'on a sur Har Sinai? C'est la Torah qu'Adam Arishon il avait. The Torah that Adam Arishon used before the sin. What is that Torah? He said, the body, the goof, and the pshat. Why you say goof and pshat?
Weird.
He said the goof and the pshat. Le goof et la pshat de cette Torah were more ruchani, more spiritual.
Pshat of Sod.
Pshat of Gan Eden. What does it mean? He said, that's what ça veut dire. He said, Vadai, ve'elu ayu luchot rishonot. It was the luchot rishonot. C'était les luchot rishonot. Asher ayu maaser itbara, done by Hashem itself. Maaser itbara. Liot gam aguf ruchani, meaning that the body wasn't physical. It was mochin, not tzelem de mochin. Mochin de narnachai. That's why I said you have the luchot and the letters wasn't standing on the luchot. It was like hovering on the luchot. Il dit, donc c'était fait par l'action d'Hachem avec un corps qui était plus rouchani. Velo kumo ashniyot. And not like the second one. Et pas comme les deuxièmes. Chez Amar Hashem Itbarach, les Moshe, Pesol lecha. On the second one, Hashem will say, Pesol lecha. Wrong tradition, mauvaise tradition. Do it by yourself. Yes, kind of. Yeah.
It's not wrong. It's idiomatic.
Pesol lecha. Chez possède avanim chez ketakna. Ve'aya alidi Moshe. And so the second luchot, it was only the ends of Moshe. But sorry, who is Moshe? Moshe, sorry, is a guy who spent maximum 2 years with the Hebrews. 70 years, he was like a child of a king. And, brothers, we are slaves. Okay, let's see what happens there. I'm so hurt. I want to give my freedom. I will give the freedom. Go, Egyptian, I kill you. I will to work. We want 40 years. 40 years here, living with Africans in the desert, chilling, become king, yeah.
Chilling?
Yeah, chilling.
Yeah, get the storks to come. Yeah. There was a lot of work. There was no chilling.
Chilling. For him, what he will do after this is called chilling.
But at the time, it felt like work.
After, he said, you know what? You don't want me no more king? No problem. I'll do my role, take my bag. Go right to Midian. That crazy man, Yitro, very strong in witchcraft. How are you Arabs, Stay here, get in the daughter. And after go talk to him, go serve the Hebrews. I don't know them. Who are them that I know I'm from that people, but who are they? I don't know what is their behavior. I don't live with them.
All right. One thing I'm going to say, you say Yitro, Arab. I feel like most of the world, and still today, even in the Christian world, have a conception that Yitro was African.
I said Arab for the joke, but it's Midian. Midian will become Medin, but doesn't mean that Arabs were there. Maybe it was also black people. I don't know exactly. I don't have text in the Torah proving. That's why I keep it open. Donc il dit, okay, do it from your obsolete. So excuse me, what will be the tendency of the obsolete? Egyptian, Kush. I will remember what he did, we will do the same. If Hashem come to us, say, Shimon, let me see.
It will be from Mishvite.
Okay, he will do, Schweiz, Congo.
And when you take gold from the Nazis, you will give 3% interest on the gold every year.
It's like this. You do exactly according to what you like, what you saw. Tu fais par rapport à ce que tu as vu, what you saw, what you live. You cannot imagine things. 52 parachutes you will imagine. No, you will build it according to your understanding.
You have no choice. That's all you have.
Yes. In that case, yeah, because Moses spent many time there. He helped them to build that Torah. He les a aidés. He's maybe the builder of that Torah. The truth is. Of course, that's why I say do it from your pshat now. Make the tikkun of your pshat. Bring it in the kedusha.
Was part of the priest of Egypt?
He gave to them many explanations that they had or didn't knew. He brought them to them. Of course, it's written in the Pirkei, in the Mishnah, the Midrashim of RaShBi. It said they were amazed by his chokhmah. Man, they understood things. Said, what is that? The king was like this. Please talk to me again. And they made of him the rabbi. Look at the Rav. What is the Rav? You know what is African? When did you say Rav? It's all about witchcraft. How can I do? You know, the guy wanted to do me. How can I send the witch? I never in. Okay, do that. Yeah, this is Africa's rabbi. It's like this. What's happened when you are with African? When they ask you, how can I break this? Do that. It's normal.
Self-marketing.
Well, if we find out, for instance, the position of Bela, the whole history of religions, especially the Christians, the Catholics.
Yes.
So, like in the Vaticano, they killed popes, hang people. They do what a miserable thing. If you touch that book, yes. So leave it. They believe in it.
We're gonna see what should be the work after, because here we are just building the frame of the introduction and the question. We're not studying yet. We are just making our question nachot, questioning in the proper way.
Like the story of the banker's spirit is something in Rome. I don't know. Leave it. I'm tired of it. So everything that I have a friend.
You also saw the Rabbi about what you said about the bank and so on. I'll give you one thought. It's my personal chidush. I never explain to people, but I think it's that. Always when you ask the people who are the two people the most spoiled and beaten in the story, they say the black and the Jewish. Yes. Why? Because in the moment they share the same thing. When you get this, because our Torah, we're going to see Torah Aleph, is Torah Chaim. You don't have this. Yeah, you are not afraid. You have bitachon. What's happened? Hashem will give me. Do it. Now, suddenly, they took you, they beat you, you're a slave.
And you dress in black. They stole your bitachon.
Yes.
The way I understand it is that Black people, because just the way they look, it reminds us of where we came, where we're going. But Jews, it was all the pratim of that. It was everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in between.
I will say like this. From the moment where you share something which is from Bela, not fixed, the price is heavy. By telling you, I fixed Bela, sorry, because I'm mixed up. Instead of being rigorous, I was too nice. Instead of being nice, I become rigorous. For us in Torah, it's forbidden to do that. The Isur. Yes, you're mixed. Especially Dayan. Be careful, don't mix. And we fix Bela what we say as Jewish, we say, oh, sorry, we mixed up. When you do that, lashes.
I saw a great example today. Now 67 was what? Let's call it 55 years ago. We conquered Israel. We conquered the Temple Mount. The first thing we do, we give our Havais to the Arabs, and we ask all the Arabs who left East Jerusalem, no, come back.
Yes.
What do the grandchildren do? What did they do this week? Attack Jews.
Yes.
This week?
This week. You haven't heard about the riots? The riots are going on a mile from your house. Arabs are beating Jews up at the Masjid Gate every day of Ramadan. And what do we do in response? They wanted us to take down these barriers. We took them down. Okay, fine. But how does Arabs get there? They left. We said, no. Come back.
Mais c'est mixé. Donc c'est ça le problème avec ce qu'on a fait. C'est qu'à partir du moment où on utilise une Torah, en fait, pourquoi l'histoire des Juifs et des Noirs se ressemblent? Ça, c'est mon prélude personnel. Parce qu'à partir du moment où tu utilises cette Torah-là, tu te fais frapper, tu deviens esclave, tu es dans une situation où tu souffres. C'est pour ça que ça se ressent. Parce que quand chaque fois que Juif, on touche à ça, on souffre. Et les Noirs, les Africains, ils sont dans ça. Bah, tu vois le résultat. Et nous, dès qu'on s'est approprie, c'est ça qui nous fait faire ce qu'on a fait. La Torah du soleil, c'est comme ça. Tu t'y accroches de la mauvaise manière, tu deviens esclave, tu te fais spolier, tu te fais expatrier, et tout le monde te relie.
Je veux dire quelque chose, moi. C'est pas que les Juifs et les Noirs viennent de différence.
Oui.
Moi, facile, parce que c'est différent de les voyelles.
Oui, c'est encore une autre vérité que je ne sais pas faire entendre.
Mais il faut qu'ils soient. Moi, j'ai pas de. Si vous faites ça, et après ils continuent à étudier, ça va les faire continuer.
Juste pousse la porte pour les voisins, pour the neighbors. Once it's after 11, you have to go less noise.
Nonetheless,
Rob, in UN, every time that you find
you need to say this
something,
bracha like now. No, you're on the edge of freedom.
you find something like this, almost like this. You go, otherwise I send you to Burkina Faso when you were in London. Yes.
Ouagadougou or the countryside? Ouagadougou?
No, in the countryside.
The fact that the city's called Ouagadougou is already an indication of what's going on in that country.
Because then I remember, this remind me, one guy that was kicked from Rome to nowhere with his beautiful wife with the ring, diamond rings in the middle of the bush.
No, it's
He want to be hero. He want to say, no, he did this and this. It's not to be afraid, but this everything, guys, that you want to put a point. Send him to Akachu.
No, you have to be careful. That question, if you put your hands on that, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Donc, il dit quoi? Il said, Moshe, do it from the obsolete. Ve'aya al yedei Moshe. Ve'ketiv ve'atorah aya al yedei Hashem Yitbarach. But the Luchot Rishonot, the première Luchot, it was from Hashem Yitbarach. C'était d'Hashem. Les Orot, to show שהגוף היה גשמי, to tell you that the goof of Torah שנייה was material, גשמיות, materiality. He said, אבל מתחילה, but at the beginning, au début, גם הגוף ופשט, even the goof. Why say goof pshat? Because goof is pshat. It's the last level. Même le goof et le pshat, if you're cold, let me close it if it's cold. The goof and the pshat, à Torah, they were ruchani. Torat Aleph, le goof et le pshat de la Torah étaient ruchani. Kefi המדרגה שהשיג בהר סיני, according to the level of Har Sinai. So sorry, Torat Moshe Sinai, it's not what you think. Torat Moshe Sinai, it's Luchot Aleph, c'est le Luchot 1. So I don't know people say, what is the halacha? Don't pray. Torat RaShBi. You want to see Torat RaShBi what it is? Let's see. ובעולם הזה, בעולם הזה עשו עגל. זה אף טוב dit de Golomikaf. Après, ils ont fait le veau d'or. וחטאו כאדם הראשון. And the mist of כאדם הראשון. Ils sont tombés לאדם הראשון. ונשברו הלוחות הראשונות שלא היו ראויים לאותה פשט. And the לוחות ראשונות were broken because the people don't deserve that Torah. What is the Shvira? It's not because the kings they are not ready. It's because what is supposed to come after we don't deserve it. Il dit la brisure des louchot, c'est parce qu'on ne méritait pas cela. ולכן ציווה השם יתברך למשה, פסל לך, רצה השם c'est tout Moshe, פסל לך, il dit fais pour toi l'obsolète, fais pour toi. והוגשם הפשט, and suddenly the pshat became materiality. Et d'un coup le pshat est devenu matériel. הוגשם הפשט. וזהו דלת נכנסו לפרדס. And this is the secret of the four who enter in the Pardes. Et c'est le secret des quatre qui sont rentrés au Pardes. שהיו מתלבשים נשמתם בלבוש אחר רוחני. Because they succeed to dress their soul in another kind of clothes. More ruchani. What is that clothes? Footnote. Oh, Aleph. Parce qu'ils se sont habillés dans un habit plus ruchani pour aller dans le Pardes. So you want to go to the Pardes, like Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Meir, Ben Zoma, Elisha Acher, you need to footnote or with Aleph. And only when you get that, you are over the Torah, Bela of Bela. Or if you don't know if you have a part of that footnote or, si vous ne savez pas, si vous avez un peu déjà une partie de cette footnote or, look at your behavior in front of materiality. Regarde ton comportement face à la matérialité.
The guy that was sent to Agadogo, then sent behind. Exactly this was happening.
Yes.
And the happiness nowadays.
Yes.
They must defend. I laugh because look, I see the guy.
Put your fingers on something. Finish in Benin. Okay. Next time I close the door, I did not see. There's something here. I don't know. So I said, you want to know if the Kutot O is standing on you? Si tu veux voir si le Kutot O avec un lèvre commence à être sur toi, regarde ton comportement face à la matérialité. Parce que la matérialité, elle est venue du pshat matériel des deuxièmes luchot. Because materiality comes from the pshat of the second luchot. And see what he said. He said, what they did, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Elisha Acher, they said they succeed to change the levush of their soul. כדי להשיג ולעסוק בתורה, in order to achieve and to study that Torah. Which one? Aleph. étudier la Torah du Aleph. Al derer, luchot rishonot. Ve'al derer, Adam HaRishon. So when you never live the experience of luchot rishonot, you cannot understand who is Adam HaRishon. שהוא הוא שם בגן עדן. ולכן, c'est pourquoi c'est dit, Amar lo Rabbi Akiva. So Rabbi Akiva opened the mouth. Il a ouvert la bouche Rabbi Akiva. What is the advice of Rabbi Akiva? C'est quoi le conseil de Rabbi Akiva? To know that now you are finished with Bela of Bela. C'est que chez Magiim le Yavne Shaish, when you arrive in front of the marble stone, the pure marble stone, quand tu arrives devant les pierres de marbre pures, Koteloma, ça veut dire quoi? It means les Otam Bet Avanim, the two stones, les deux pierres, chez M, Bet Luchot, Rishonot, that are the two Luchot Rishonot, where are they? In Gan Eden. So what is the entrance of Gan Eden? Sinai. You want to know where went Alexander the Great? Sinai.
You want to Sinai?
You want to know where Eliyahu went to Har Orev, the other name of Har Sinai. That is a secret. He said, I want to go to visit Africa. They say, no, you will be done. But take this, take that, take this, take that. He went and he found the entrance. And what we did, we gave it back. Well, I want it.
Come home, but
The one religious prime minister, right? It's better than he
Mais si t'as pas la force, peut-être que les autres ont la force. Laisse pour les autres. Toi, tu sais pas faire. Laisse pour les autres.
That's a good one.
C'est quoi l'entrée du Gan Eden, Rabbi David? C'est le Har Sinai. C'est Rabbi Akiva qui te donne le secret ici. Et nous, on fait quoi? On le rend aux Égyptiens. The Har Sinai. That's why I want to go to Egypt. You understand now?
Yeah, because we took a Torah.
We know
with
where
us
is it.
That wasn't ours. Apparently, we took a Torah with us. That
Come
wasn't
with me.
ours. And we left the real Torah there. So that's why the Ari.
They went there.
Everyone had to go back because we left it there. We didn't take it out.
Exactly.
and that's why the Rambam had the chutzpah to write. It's Asher living in Egypt. Living in Egypt.
Ferme la porte, alors, s'il te plaît. Parce qu'il y a trop de bruit, il est tard, les voisins, ils ne veulent pas qu'il saute.
Oh, every time we lock the door, the guy in the bed. Can you leave it there?
Yeah, so they are upstairs. Just close it. So you push it. Tac.
Not against you, but Cesar.
You know, it's called Guinness.
The French only came into the world because of the bread and Diane. That was enough. That was it. Just for the bread. And that's high praise because bread is good. Very good.
I think many Africans would agree. If it's just on the bread, Diane.
I don't think they are here.
Whatever. Bread.
So he said, there are the two luchot. She'em vav fachim. There are 6 tefa. What is tefa? Is that 8 centimeters.
This is the question. Oh,
8 centimeters. But multiply it by 6. This is the size of one luchot. Tefa by 6. You will find a number. Donc c'est 6 tefa. Chez Omra Zal, VM, Ta'or, and they are pure. Ils sont purs. Chez Enam Keshiniyot she'enam teorot, and said they are not like the second one, which are not teorot. So it is written.
Wait, what's this week's parsha? And what? What do we study? Go on, whatever. Tahor, tahara. Tameh, tameh. You must separate them. You must separate
You
them.
will say that the luchot shniyot were not ta'or. You have that strength to say that.
It's a strong. I didn't say that. I just said this week we study what's tahor, what's tameh.
Everything else.
Non, c'est pas vraiment ça. C'est puissant ce qu'il dit. Il dit ils sont pas purs.
But what I know is, if I
Les
touch
deuxièmes
this,
luchot sont pas purs.
what I know
Il
is,
écrit ça, montre-lui la phrase.
if I touch the soet, I have to go to that Yadayim. I don't know why.
So,
I don't go to the mikvah.
so do you wash your hand after you touch the Torah?
I wash my hands before touching the Torah. Also, but I do.
Il dit, enam ta'or, ils sont pas ta'or.
Les premières ou les
Deuxième.
C'est celle qu'on a, comme pour étudier.
The rabbis knew. They said this. They for They knew. They knew this Torah.
So you see where you have to feel free? When they say, you stole our Torah, you say, yes, we know. But we pay a big price for that.
Comment on pourrait les finir pures? Elles sont pas vraies, elles sont pas pures. Comment?
C'est-à-dire qu'elles ne produisent pas une protection et une pureté, dans le sens où elles te disqualifient de te tenir devant Dieu en étant saint. Parce que tout ce qui est pur ne peut pas fonctionner. Tout ce qui est impur ne peut pas fonctionner devant Dieu. Mais tu dis ça dès le deuxième luchot. Tu sais pas dans le second luchot. Si. C'est une bombe qui lance là, le Harry.
C'est une bombe. Je n'ai pas employé des grands mots, mais c'est.
Et tu l'écris. C'est un homme ta'or. C'est pour ça qu'il y a des incohérences. On ne comprend pas. On dit, comment tu peux faire une Torah et être un voleur? Je ne sais pas, il y a des trucs qui ne vont pas.
C'est marrant, parce que après ce que je t'avais dit, à chaque fois ça revient. Avec ma soeur, on avait des discussions, on me disait, mais ça ne marche pas, il faut changer le mode d'emploi. On se pose toujours des questions.
Mais c'est-à-dire que ces questions-là, Rabbi David, elles sont légitimes.
C'est légitime.
Tu vois bien qu'il y a un truc qui cloche. You see that something is wrong. People are doing crazy things.
And they try to find a thing in the Torah pour
dire qu'ils ne pêchent pas.
Voilà, exactement.
You see now why I say the convert will tell you I want to do pshat? You understand now what it means? A convert who is trapped in the klippa just comes out before a few days. He said, you know what? I want to study the Torah that Ari said, c'est no ta'or. You're done.
The Torah, the
I
want that.
I want that.
You will go.
You know it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I have to study Sod. It's the only way for him to go up. As Rabbi Shimon said, say, yes, Gemara, you're right. If he studies Pshat, don't trust. But if he comes to the Sod, yes, can trust for the very first day. Ce qu'il dit Rabbi Shimon, il dit hier, et tu peux lui faire confiance sur la condition qu'il étudie le Sod. Parce que s'il fait que le Pshat, quel Pshat il fait? Le Pshat, le deuxième Nuchot, c'est quoi?
But it's not that he's so smart. It's that his neshama is pure.
Neshama faux.
Of the Gela. It's not that he's such a smart guy that he says, oh no, I went so because I'm so smart. His neshama knows what it needs.
His neshama will start to be purified by the studying this.
But it's at a level of purity that it can be purified.
If he studies Sod, it will be purified.
Yeah.
This is a tikkun.
That is true. I could testify to that.
That's it. She ain't not out, please. This sentence, keep it for you. Don't bring it out. But les filles, why it's not Taor? Les filles chez Abshat ve'aguf à Torah ou davar gufani ve'gashmi. c'est because the pshat and the body of the Torah, Luchot Shniyot, it's something materialistic and vulgar, gashmi. Parce que le pshat de la deuxième Torah, c'est matériel et gashmi. We're going to make pause now. Just want to do Birkot HaShachar and Chatzot. Just pause that, Tzadikim. Yeah. You can follow. I will do it in front of you. We'll do it together. Birkot HaShachar and Chatzot. I just go to the toilet and I keep the recording like this. Those who want to see how we do, you will see. Give me 1 second.
I'm gonna burn you sometime. That's what you get. Yeah, right. You can't enjoy that. Super nice, right?
C'est dangereux.
Crazy man.
No, if there's gonna be any moment
No,
where
I don't
Rob
think
is
so.
talking about
I don't think
Rashi,
that's you can still be a crazy man and that can taste delicious.
also any moment of overlap.
On the mount, sun.
Bring them straight on the benefits of Hilula.
Everybody has a dirty hand inside.
Where?
Salad.
Sun.
Sun. Mansal.
Where?
No,
In this Torah.
no.
I'm trying to
No,
find
it's
this kosher.
No, it's not kosher. It's not. I promise you, it's not kosher.
This is Torah bags. This is Torah bags.
That's how we all
This is the Torah of bait right here. This is the Torah of bait. This is the Torah of Ashkenaz and whiskey. It's mamish. Solid.
Keep walking in the solid.
This,
You know what?
pour it in the toilet because that's where it
Give
belongs.
this to me. I have a gong machine by my house. I'll
Yeah.
do it.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
So this one is now. You really had you chew together all the way home?
And it's true, even the color.
That's how you come on.
Face.
All the
Mamis.
mean water of life.
This is my mamis.
Yeah.
My mamis.
Good portion.
This is like
Edom, Lebel, Edom. Où est Edom? Esau, Edom.
Non, mais
Quel-
c'est un dangereux.
Edom,
Non,
Lebel,
c'est bon,
Edom.
mais.
Lebel
Moi, je suis pas fait
et
pour ce genre de
Esau.
saveur.
Go ahead. You drink Esau.
No, seriously?
yeah,
Okay.
probably. We're also
No.
like
No, it's kosher, but.
Yeah.
And this one. Rabbi Shua, is it kosher?
Café Bouka.
No. No. 100%. I don't even have to look at it. Because it's vodka. It's kosher.
Oh, vodka is kosher, man.
Alcohol
either
is
you- like,
distilled.
either you get
It's
it,
kosher.
Ah, that's why it's.
Only they put
But you
time
can't-
after,
you can't
then maybe
stand
it's a
it
problem.
properly.
But any
Like,
distilled
Yeah.
spirit,
Because
it's
we buy
kosher.
Amsterdam today, and we asked the Rav because it was no Ashkenaz, so we say, is it really kosher? And he said, and yeah, but the guy says it's kosher. Ah, il avait raison.
All the spirits,
C'est kasher, c'est kasher.
I was
all the
just thinking about
spirits.
that. Like, imagine like any
Because this is our side of
Like,
religion now.
and I
We
was
used to do it
thinking,
in the Beit HaMikdash, yeah.
So,
Because
the problem with vodka, the problem with vodka is the same problem as whiskey. For kashrut. A lot of vodka is made from
I'm
wheat.
just gonna go on.
Meat?
Wheat.
You have to make sure the wheat is kosher.
No, pesa. Ça existait, devant pesa. Là, nous on mange.
Ça, c'est sûr, ça existe.
Là, nous on boit. Là, normalement.
Ça, c'est de la figue.
Non, kasher, ça c'est fait par des juifs, ça cache-route, ça.
C'est vachement bien. Il y a rien marqué là. Vous pouvez même pas le message, comment ça se fait qu'il y a rien marqué en bas là? C'est-à-dire qu'il a reçu ou pas?
Don't you think that you are gonna put a
What's up, je-
No, I mean, it's
rubber
like,
door?
like strong judgmental. Like,
Because he has the right to tell the authorities to kick you out, we out because they can't stay. You understand?
there's like strong judgmental, like someone who's
Then
judging
we
me on
need to put the
We
rubber
need to
there.
put something to quiet
To
it down.
not,
like, I guess, like,
because he has the right.
you know,
Space
yeah,
one,
even
because,
that, like, even that.
if you want
like,
to bake it a very, you have to have good relationship with them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Slowly.
Yeah. Gentlemen, slowly.
Because
Keep it down.
people are sleeping, even if I know it's alcohol, we are happy, but we have to be in good relationship with to show with me that they are sleeping. We have to be calm a little bit.
Thank you for the reminder, Rebbe.
And then we be kicked out.
But we can do that.
You know this.
Yeah.
Bah, si je pense, parce que je lui ai envoyé ça, après il m'a
We
envoyé
be
ça.
kicked out.
D'accord.
Moi, c'est sur le bord et le pays, ça le temps.
What?
Parce que
Moi,
regarde,
mais non.
par exemple,
Mais
si
this
c'est un
never
voleur,
happened.
c'est marqué envoyé par message texte.
But then we need to behave to respect the family upstairs. Is all the civilized country. When your rights come, somebody else goes. It's not in America.
The difference between being able to say I tried. In America, I don't know, a lot of things pass me in America.
But you pay for it.
That's it.
What?
What do you do?
Before we car.
Et tu sais quoi, quand il a dit ça, j'ai fait. Dis au Rabbi Shimon.
Before
T'es pas là, pareil, t'es pas là. Maintenant, je suis là. Ouais. On pense? Je suis déçu, mais il m'a dit, mais c'est vrai, parce que nous voit des rois.
Objectively from the outside.
Le chêne, c'est le roi de l'Occident, ça n'a pas de sens. Le roi des sept rois.
C'est Adam. He's going on a journey, and they pass the same law.
Oui, c'est un Kadosh Baruch Hu, c'est lui, c'est Adam.
I think we just
Non, on appelle un
arrived
Kadosh Baruch Hu, tu sais
into
comment.
the
Nous, quand on parle Kadosh Baruch Hu, c'est pas une seule.
It's funny.
Ah, mais j'ai compris. Oui, oui, non, mais je vois, moi je veux dire. C'est le roi des rois.
It's not my business, but our responsibility.
Yeah, you're right.
It's our responsibility
Yeah.
to say do or to do things.
We go to work. Because the noise
Just
is
don't keep closing.
If you are like, we need to have respect. I get, you can't do. Because if you leave there, what happened? They kick you out.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna have a trouble? We gonna have a fun. I would say. Sorry, but you need to hear what the people say. I want to be a boss. I'm not a boss. I'm just like you. But I want
Nah,
that
don't
you
want
get
that.
respect
We don't
for
want
the
that.
neighbors. You can drink what you want.
Yaakov, just you don't ever want a person like him to be your boss. Trust me.
You want that I lock the door?
No, he said, leave it open. He said. The Rav said, leave it open. Yeah,
No,
let's
give it
go.
up, give it up, give it up, give it up, don't close it, don't close it. Oh. Guys, you should really. Oh, watch it.
Yes, I know, but in 5 minutes, the people.
Jump? No.
Some things to destroy our human. For you.
He was sure Benjamin was his boss. He doesn't know what he's asking for. Who? You, Yaakov. He was telling me that he wished Benjamin was his boss.
This Raven?
Oh my God.
Or English?
You will hate your life. I promise you.
I really learned.
You're both right. You're both right. You gonna find the picture? You're gonna say
No.
Yeah.
No, Rabbi Yeshua,
What can you do? God, I hate my start today. No, you said think guys.
We have a saying that if you can't beat him, you get him to join your side.
Or you kill them all.
That's beating them.
Right, beating them. If you can't do that.
down.
I've heard other versions. There's a Yesh Omrim that says you can't beat them, have more puka. Right before Birkat HaShkar, you want it. Huh? You were warned, sir.
When?
נקבים, חלולים, גדלו וידעו אני בסיפורות החשים, שאתם אחד מהם, מבורים בבתי אחיין מהם. אפשר להיכנס לשחת, ברוך אתה אדוני, כל בשר מתחילה עשו. אלוהי, נשמה שנתת ביתי, אתה גרעת, אתה נפחת, ואתה משמך בקרבי, ואתה עתיד לתלה, ולהזירה בי לעתיד לבוא, כל זמן שנשמה בקרבי, מודי אני לפניך, אדוני אלוהי, ולרבותיי שאתה הוא, ובעוד כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות, המושל בכל הבריות, חי וקרבת, ברוך אתה אדוני, המחזיר, נשמות אותי, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, מה נותן לשיח בבינה להבחין בין יום ובין לילה, ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך העולם פוקיע עבריים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך העולם מתיר אסורים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם זוקף כיפופים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם מלביש ערומים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם הנותן עלי בכוח, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם רוקע הארץ על המים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם המכין מצעדי גבר, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשה לי כל צורכי, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם עוזר ישראל בגבורה, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם עוטר ישראל בתפארה, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם שלא עשני גוי, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם שלא עשני עבד, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם שלא עשני אישה, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם המביך שינה מעינה ותלונה מפפאי ורצה מלפניך אדוני, אלוהינו ולאבותינו שתרגילנו בתורתך ותרגיל במידותיך, כי אל תביאנו לידי חטא ולא לידי עבירה ולא לידי ניסיון ולא לידי ביזיון ותרחיקני מיצר הרע ותביא מיצר הטוב ותעוטני מאהבה לכן כל החסד והחביב בעיניך ונכון רואינו וגם לנו חסדים טובים, ברוך אתה אדוני, גומר חסדים טובים לעמו ישראל, יהי רצון לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו ותצילנו היום ובכל יום ויום מהזפנים ומעזות הפנים, מאדם רע, מאישה רעה, מיצר רע, מחבר רע, משכן רע, מפגע רעה, מעין הרעה ומלשון הרעה, ממלשינות מעדות שקר ומקטל משינויות, משינת בריות מעלילה, ממיתה משונות, מחולם רעים, ממקרים רעים, מדין קשה, מבעל דין קשה, בין שיעור בין ברית ובין שיעור בין ברית, או מדינה של גיהנום, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על דברי תורה, וערב נא אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך, בפינו בפיפיות עמך בית ישראל, ונהיה לנו ותצאנו, ותצאנו כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה, ברוך אתה אדוני